みんなの英語リスニングをご視聴いただきありがとうございます。今回はボイスオブアメリカから
The end of the American penny? Aborted space launch sees success on second try. Tensions heat up in the Arctic.
のまとめ回となります。リスニングのポイントです。必要のない方は飛ばして先にお進みください。詳しく知りたい方は動画を止めるかスクショして説明文をお読みください。では始めましょう。
They're found near cash registers, in change jars, and often on the sidewalk, but the American penny might soon become a relic. As President Donald Trump has ordered the United States Treasury to stop minting the 1-cent coin, this is not the first time the penny has come under fire. With copper prices rising since the 1970s, each 1-cent coin costs 3.7 cents to mint. The U.S. Treasury lost $85.3 million last year alone producing them. And while a penny could once buy a piece of candy, the coins now have virtually no value because of inflation. Some countries, such as Canada and Australia, have already eliminated their 1-cent coins, while others, such as Hungary and Czechia, have stopped subdividing their main currency unit entirely. But although legislation to stop minting the penny has been repeatedly introduced in the U.S. since 1990, the coin has endured. Zinc and copper companies have lobbied the government through organizations, like Americans for Common Sense, while consumers have expressed concern about the impact on prices. Abolishing the penny would likely require minting more 5-cent nickels, which are even more expensive to produce relative to their value. Beyond these considerations, the penny has nostalgic and cultural significance. And the debate also taps into a larger conversation about how the move away from cash, and toward digital payments, impacts the poorest Americans. So can the president discontinue the penny? While currency decisions are normally made by Congress, Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent may be able to unilaterally order the U.S. Mint to stop producing them. Regardless of the outcome, with 240 billion pennies in circulation, they are likely to stick around for some time to come. We begin this week on a launch pad at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, where not a whole lot happened. A Russian Soyuz rocket was to carry a 3-person crew to the International Space Station. But about 20 seconds before scheduled liftoff, plans changed as an automatic safety system made the call to abort the launch. Director General of Roscosmos Yuri Borisov blamed the delay on a voltage drop in the craft's chemical power source. We have liftoff, but fear not, we fans of all things space, for hope was not lost, as just 2 days later the mission picked up where it left off and the crew was on its way to space. On board Soyuz MS-25 were American Tracy Dyson, Belarusian Marina Vasilevskaya and Russian Oleg Novitsky. All's well that ends well, as the crew disembarked their capsule and boarded the ISS on March 25. The trio will be on board for individual stays ranging from days to months. Meanwhile in Japan, the country's space agency and its prime contractor are looking to build momentum in the launch business following the successful test launch of their flagship H-3 rocket in February. Japan Space Agency JAXA says it will offer an alternative to SpaceX, while also serving national interests in addition to commercial launches. The H-3 rocket, manufactured by Japan and Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, should cost roughly $33 million to launch, but Mitsubishi says that price tag should drop after about a dozen launches. Finally this week, a group of 7th grade students in Cleveland, Ohio, recently spent part of their days teaching 2nd graders about the upcoming solar eclipse. They built models showing how the moon blocks the sun's rays during the event, and while NASA encourages everyone to watch, the agency stresses safety first. Make sure you have the proper eye protection, like the eclipse glasses, and as you look at the heavens on April the 8th when the eclipse starts, please put those glasses on. Sound advice for stargazers of any age, Arash Arabesati, VOA News. Despite being one of Earth's coldest and least populated regions, the Arctic is quickly becoming a key focus for the United States and other regional powers. 8 nations hold territory north of the Arctic Circle: Canada, Russia, Iceland, Finland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and the United States. Since 1996, these governments have participated in the Arctic Council Forum, along with representatives of indigenous groups, like the Sami, Inuit, and Chukchi, to promote scientific research and environmental conservation. However, since Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, other Arctic governments have suspended cooperation with Moscow. The tension comes at a time when melting ice due to climate change is turning the Arctic into a zone of commercial and geopolitical competition. Opening new shipping routes, while making fossil fuel and mineral deposits more accessible. Russia controls most of the Arctic coastline and has built up military infrastructure while expanding its territorial claims. Maritime disputes also persist, despite the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Both Canada and Russia claim that parts of the new shipping routes pass through their territorial waters, while the United States has yet to ratify the UN's Maritime Treaty. Outside powers are also pressing claims, as China has declared itself a near-Arctic state, partnering with Arctic governments to invest in infrastructure and research. Given the increased Russian and Chinese presence, Greenland, an autonomous territory of NATO ally Denmark, is considered key to America's Arctic strategy. The island already contains a U.S. military base and has recently seen further military buildup from Denmark. As the region heats up both literally and politically, the contest for Arctic influence is only beginning.
最後までご視聴ありがとうございます。動画内容に慣れてきましたら、聞き流しやボイスオブアメリカ本編での学習をおすすめします。チャンネル登録、グッドボタンも忘れずによろしくお願いします。では、またお会いしましょう。
See you later.